Today we're going to dive into the topic of starting a private school. And if this is something that you've ever thought about doing, then this is the video for you, because we're going to dive into the 5 key factors that are really important when thinking about starting a private school. So let's jump right in. My name is Dr. Jeannie Gudith, and I created this channel for everything private schools. So whether you want to start a private school, you have a private school already and you're looking for improvement strategies, or even maybe selling your private school at some point, then this is the channel for you. So stay tuned for weekly videos on everything private schools. So let's jump into key factor number 1. The first key factor is vision and mission statements. So these school statements are really important when starting your school because it's really the foundation of the school. So you really need to ask yourself questions like, what values do you have at the school? What's the education going to be like? Who are you serving? And I have a really great worksheet, and I'll link that in the description box below, that will really help you with some of these questions and really fine-tune that mission and vision statement. Okay, so once you have a clear vision and mission, then the next thing you can start doing is doing some researching and planning. Researching about, around your area. If you're thinking about doing a brick and mortar school, then what types of schools are already in your area. If you're even doing an online school, what types of schools are there online that maybe could be your competition, or maybe you can decide, okay, well, we want to offer something completely different that really differentiates you from those other schools. And then a lot of that also is the financial piece. How much money are you going to need? What is your budget? Those kinds of questions. Location, all of those kinds of questions. You really need to get really firm on what that looks like. And really, this could be a business plan if you wanted to do that. That's what we do for our clients. And it's really about coming up with not only what you need to do, but how are you going to implement that. And then once you do that, you really need to focus on the third factor, which is your legal requirements. So this includes like licensing, health and safety codes. Are you going to be an LLC, or are you going to be a nonprofit? So you really need to look at your state and what the requirements are in your state. Now, preschools are much more regulated than, say, for example, a K through 12, which are probably the least regulated of all the different sectors of education. And colleges and universities are, and even trade schools are more regulated. So you really need to look at your state and find out what the regulations are in your state. And then once you've done all that, you really need to look at staffing and curriculum, because that's really the backbone of the school. It's what kind of teachers are you going to hire? What does your curriculum look like? If you're a Montessori school, you're going to need to offer a Montessori type curriculum. If you're a gifted and talented school, then you need to look at gifted and talented curriculum. And actually, your teachers can really drive a lot of that curriculum and that framework that you're going to create with your curriculum. So once you've hired teachers, it really helps to get their input on that. And you still want to have some kind of idea of what you're going to offer, obviously, before you start hiring staff. But the teachers can really help you create a really solid curriculum framework. And then you also need administration staff. You need a principal or head of school, some kind of administrator, those types of roles that you're going to need to fill. And then the last thing is marketing and enrollment. So you definitely want to market your school. You need to be on social media. You need to have an amazing website that's SEO compliant and converts, right? Because you want those families to click on there and have a really easy experience online. And then you also want to look at things like niche.com or greatschools.com, make sure that you're on those sites, and really look at your community sites. So there's a lot of moms groups that you can be a part of. I think there's a lot of Facebook groups that are moms groups that you can be a part of, or even any kind of local groups. You can also put your information in there and get seen and do open houses and things like that. So that's a quick overview. I'm actually thinking about doing a much longer maybe series on going through each step. I do have a workbook that I go through on my website that goes through everything. So if you're interested, click in the comments below. Maybe I'll do a long series on how to start a private school. But if you have any other questions, or you have any thoughts on any other kind of content that you'd like me to do on this channel, please put it in the comments below. I love hearing from you. Thank you so much.